Hi guys, this is Mrs. Dallas, and I am a little hoarse tonight, so please excuse my voice. But this is the alcohol PowerPoint, and we are going to be going through our alcohol notes. They should go right in order. So if you need to stop this video at any time or go back or whatever if you need to. So first I want you to just think, do we at our school have a problem with kids drinking alcohol? What percentage of middle schoolers do you think drink? And just, I know you're not with a partner right now, but just think for a second, what percentage do you think actually drink alcohol? Maybe even on a regular basis. What is alcohol? It's a psychoactive drug which affects the central nervous system, the CNS. Okay, alcohol is also a depressant, which means it slows down this central nervous system. And that is why a person can drink too much alcohol and die in one sitting, where the same is not true of tobacco. Tobacco is a stimulant, and a stimulant could kill you, having too much of a stimulant. But this particular depressant can slow down the central nervous system so much that your heart actually stops working, you stop breathing, that sort of thing. Absorption and oxidation of alcohol. Alcohol is absorbed quickly and it goes directly into the bloodstream. About 80% goes directly in, and the rest is absorbed in the small intestines. Once it's in the blood, the liver works to oxidate, okay? So what that means is it breaks it down, oxidizes, breaks it down into urine, so you pee it out, sweat, you sweat it out, and CO2, you breathe it out. That's why you can get detected on a breathalyzer. Beer, wine, and hard liquor, or spirits, hard spirits, whatever you want to call it, all contain alcohol. The following is the common alcoholic beverages that all contain the same exact amount of alcohol. So it's called a standard drink, which is a 12-ounce beer, an ounce and a half of hard liquor, or a 5-ounce glass of wine. Okay, so proof is the amount of alcohol in hard liquor or distilled spirits. The percentage of pure alcohol in the hard liquor is usually 1/2 the proof. For example, 100 proof liquor is about 50% pure alcohol. Thus, the higher the proof, the more pure alcohol in that hard liquor would contain. Okay, so all of these, no matter of the volume, all of them contain the same amount of pure alcohol. It's just in the way that they are delivered to the body. So why wait until 21 to decide whether or not you're going to drink or not? It's more than just drinking and driving, guys. Alcohol is the #1 killer of teens, but not all teens can drink and drive. Alcohol is horrible on the growing body. It takes half as much of alcohol to damage a teen's brain as it does an adult's brain. Some teens drink twice as much, 3 times as much as an adult. So just think about what that's doing. The brain can completely shut down breathing and or swallowing, gag reflexes, and this is known as alcohol poisoning. If you are not dead or dying, you will be rushed to the emergency room and they will pump your body full of charcoal, and they'll try and get out as much as alcohol of that alcohol that you put in your body. Unlike other drugs, alcohol dissolves in both water and fat. It's highly soluble in water, which makes it one of the most potent depressants of the central nervous system. Alcohol is absorbed into the cells and tissues the way water soaks into a sponge, so it just sticks them right in. So within the first drink, kids are affecting their frontal lobe, which is your problem solving, your personality, your emotions, your motor, your judgments, your movements, your senses, your reasoning. Within a couple drinks, say 2 drinks, now you have slurred speech. You aren't able to form words. Your hearing is affected. And we're talking about 3 to 4 drinks probably in this. We're definitely losing our balance, highly intoxicated, and then we move on to the cerebellum. Definitely you will not be able to walk. The coordination will be totally gone. Your loss of balance. And then we're talking when it reaches the brainstem, we're talking coma and death. Okay. Teen alcohol addiction. Alcohol is addicting, guys. I'm gonna say it like it is. It's very addicting. Children and teens become chemically dependent much faster than adults do, as fast as just a couple weeks or a couple months. Adolescents who begin drinking before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to develop an alcohol dependence than those who begin drinking at the age of 21. And here's the really important thing. A child who reaches the age of 21 without abusing alcohol or using drugs is virtually certain to never do so. So if you can postpone that first drink until after 21, guys, you are virtually never going to become an alcoholic. I think that is a really powerful thing. And when we know that alcoholism runs in families, I think that is super powerful to know. Teens' attitude towards drinking is, hey, let's go get drunk. The whole goal is to get drunk, and therefore causing alcohol poisoning. How many teens go out on a weekend and their sole purpose is just to get drunk? You don't hear many adults saying, hey, let's go out and get alcohol poisoning, or let's go out and get like totally sloshed. No, most adults will drink 1 drink, 2 drinks with dinner, whatever. The point of an adult drinking alcohol is not to get totally hammered. The brain's function, the first brain function you lose even under the smallest amount of alcohol is judgment. And you can see that obviously this is why it's becoming one of the leading causes of death of accidents, contributing into accidents. For teenagers, 60% of all fatal car accidents involve alcohol. 68% of all drownings involve alcohol. Drinkers are 16 times more likely to die in a fall because of alcohol. Compared to non-drinkers, teen binge drinkers. And let's define binge drinking. Binge drinking is 5 drinks in a row for boys and 4 drinks in a row for girls. So if you are a teen binge drinker, you are 11 times more likely to ride in with a driver who has been drinking alcohol. You are 4 times more likely to be in a physical fight. You are almost 4 times more likely to have been raped or subject to dating violence. You are more than 5 times more likely to be sexually active, 4 times more likely to have attempted suicide, and teen binge drinkers were also more likely to use other drugs. Wow, look at those statistics there, guys. So what are the risks for teens? We have sexual decisions, rape, it's a gateway drug, violence, drinking and driving, DUIs, alcohol poisoning, drinking games, accidents, alcoholism, a minor in possession, athletic code, school suspension, bad decisions. Now, let's talk about how the alcohol affects our bodies. Even the smallest amount affects your judgment, behaviors, and reasonings, blah, blah, blah. So number 1 is your judgment, your reasoning. Number 3 is you lose your inhibitions, which means that you are much more likely to become sexually active. And number 4, the blood dilates your blood vessels. Okay. Larger amounts of alcohol as we go on, you're going to lose coordination, reaction time, vision, and eventually pass out. We want, if you are going to be drinking, we want your body to pass out. That is why when they talk about drinking energy drinks along with alcohol, that can be very, very dangerous. If you're a woman, this is where the BAC, blood alcohol concentration, or BAL, blood alcohol level, each of those are used interchangeably. This is what is affecting your driving. So you can kind of find your weight. These are the women up here on top. These are the men. You would find your weight, okay, along the top. And you can kind of start to see where 1 or 2 drinks would put you on this continuum. Obviously, the lower you weigh, the higher that's going to affect you with the smaller amount of drinks. Okay, so what is going to determine how alcohol affects you? Number 1 is the amount. Okay, how much are you going to drink? Plain and simple. How fast are you going to drink it? Alcohol, every drink takes about an hour to metabolize out of your body, or to oxidize out of your body. So 1 drink an hour will be oxidized. So if I'm going to have 5 drinks, well, my body just does not have the ability to catch up. How much you weigh, kind of like I explained in the last one. Tolerance, this is something we have not talked about. Tolerance, as we have become more and more used to drinking, our body becomes tolerant of it. So it knows how to react. So tonight I go home and I have one drink and I get totally schnockered. That's one drink. And I do that for a couple nights in a row. Pretty soon that one drink does not do it for me anymore. I need 2 drinks to get that same effect that one drink would cause. That is called a tolerance. My tolerance is increased because I am using more frequently. Is there any other drugs in our body? And this can be prescription. It can be cold medicine. It could be, even aspirin or Advil can affect how alcohol affects the body. Do I have any food in my stomach? This doesn't make you less drunk, but it does slow down the process. So the food acts as a sponge and kind of sucks in some of that alcohol, and it slows down how fast you get drunk. Some long-term effects of alcohol use is, of course, cirrhosis of the liver. We have cancers of other body organs, heart disease, ulcers, and early death. 1 out of 10 people in the United States who drink become alcoholics. Approximately 14 million people in the U.S. are addicted to alcohol or abuse alcohol. Alcohol is the 3rd leading cause of preventable death overall. So if we look at those overall statistics in the United States, the liver can oxidize about a half an ounce of alcohol per hour. It takes about an hour for the average drink. BAL or BAC refers to the blood alcohol concentration or level. Like I just said, those both mean the same thing. It refers to how much alcohol is present in a person's blood. Okay. It's a percentage. So the greater the BAL or the BAC, the greater effects on the body. Minor in possession, MIP. So possession or consumption is the same exact offense. If you are close enough to touch the alcohol, even if you are not drinking, you can still get charged with a minor in possession. So if you go to a party and you're still holding a cup, but you're pretending it's booze and it's really water, you can still actually get charged with a minor in possession. So if you're at a party, not getting drunk, you can get in the same trouble with the law. So that's why we don't even want you to attend those parties. In a car, everyone in the car can be charged with a minor in possession if there's a can in the car or trunk, even if it's not open or if it's empty. If you are 21, it can be in the trunk of your car. Minor in possession. So here's kind of where if you're going to get pulled over, this might be where it lies. Okay. So DUI, so it would be usually about the same as adult. 0.08 in the state of Illinois is legally drunk, and is not okay for you to be driving. Under the influence of any drugs, including marijuana, is a DUI. Implied consent. You do not have the right to refuse when you sign your driver's license. It says that you will take a breathalyzer test. So I think that's always kind of important and a myth that many people have. Some possible consequences here. I'm just going to kind of flip through these. Don't drink alcohol while your body is still growing, and that magic age is usually around 21. They picked that number for a reason. You can have fun, be cool without it, choose not to drink. Alcoholism, let's talk about that for a second. It is a very important thing that we talk about alcoholism because it is a disease and it can affect you in 2 different ways, physically and mentally, and usually it's both. So how do you know if someone is an alcoholic? What behaviors do you see? Alcoholism actually runs in families. If one parent is an alcoholic or was an alcoholic or drug addict, you have a 50% chance of becoming an alcoholic or an addict yourself. If both your parents were addicts, you have an 80% chance. So this is true of addiction to any psychoactive drug. So if your parents are addicts, you need to know that. Even if they were alcoholics or addicts in the past and they are now sober, that means that it is in your genetics. Break the cycle for your children. Don't do drugs. Wait, postpone. Nothing good happens doing drugs, drinking, at any age. So one thing that we have our Al-Anon, Alateen are places for people who are addicts to go and get help. So they teach us three things. They tell our children and our loved ones that are affected by people's alcoholism that you didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you can't cure it. So those are the real things that they strive when you would go to a meeting if you were a child or a family member affected by alcoholism. So Alateen is for the children of alcoholics. Al-Anon is really for everybody, the husbands and wives, family members, and friends of alcoholics. And AA is for the alcoholic himself to get them the help that they need. Bottom line, if someone is an alcoholic or not, the drinking is causing or interfering with your daily life. That is what you really need to know. Is alcohol causing problems in my daily life? Can I not stop it? Then you're probably addicted and need help. So, what are 20 questions? What makes me an alcoholic? What are some things that I need to know? Loss of time at school or my job due to drinking. Drinking because you're shy. Drink to build up your self-confidence. Have money problems because you're drinking. Drinking alone. Always drinking until the bottle is empty. Starting hanging out with a crowd that is an alcoholic. Have to drink or go on a date. Or I have to have a drink, to go on a date. I get along with people better if I have a drink. I drink to escape my worries, my problems. After you drink, you feel guilty. Feel bothered if someone says you're drinking too much. Lost any friends since you've been drinking. Have friends who drink less than you. Had alcohol that affects your reputation. Feel a sense of power from drinking. Ever been to a hospital or busted from drinking? Ever had a complete loss of memory, a blackout? Turned off to studies or lectures about alcoholism? Do you think you have a problem? A problem is something that you think interferes with your life. So, if you answer one, there's a possibility. If you answer yes to two of these, you have a higher chance. And 3 yeses is probably most likely you do have a problem at this point and need to seek help. Now, some other things that we like to talk about with alcohol is fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS, it's called. And this is when mom is growing a baby, in her body and she is pregnant and she chooses to drink alcohol. This is very, very dangerous because it provides less oxygen to the baby and can cause a huge range of birth defects, including low birth weight, miscarriages, and stillbirths. It is also the leading cause of mental retardation in the United States is moms drinking while pregnant. There is no safe amount of alcohol to drink during pregnancy. There are still doctors out there that say that, you can have a couple drinks or you can have a drink at night. And why take that chance? Alcohol is a deuteragen, a substance that is toxic to the baby's developing brain. So just take a look here. A normal brain of a 6-week-old and a week of a baby the same age with FAS. Like what brain do you want for your baby? FAS is the leading cause of mental retardation, like I said, causes serious social and behavioral problems. Oftentimes they have different facial structures that kind of clue us in that they might have FAS. And I'm just going to kind of leave this here and please go back and read it. But it talks about a mom who, has a child who is affected with FAS. Each year in the United States, 5,000 babies are born with FAS. That's 1 out of every 500. No amount of alcohol is safe to be drank during pregnancy. Alcohol causes more baby damage to the baby than any other drug. And it's very, very serious. It's a totally preventable thing. We talk about suicide being 100% preventable. Again, these are like one of the things that are 100% preventable. And you can simply prevent it by not drinking alcohol during pregnancy. And like I said, there's still doctors out there that say, it's okay, go ahead, have 1 or 2. But we know that FAS is totally preventable. A pregnant woman who drinks 6 drinks a week has a 40% chance of bearing a child with fetal alcohol syndrome. So let's apply our DECIDE decision-making process. So I put the DECIDE process here to find the problem, examine your options, consider the consequences, identify my values, decide and act and evaluate. So we'll probably have some time to talk about this in class, but let's say you are at a party with a friend and they are daring you to beat last week's record for drinking shots of vodka. You really want these friends to like you and you keep inviting you to parties they have. What should you do? Should you take the dare? And so just kind of mull that over. Put that into the decision-making process. Okay, and that is the end of our PowerPoint on alcohol. Again, don't forget you can always go back, stop, pause this, rewind, do what you need to do to make sure that you get those notes. Again, I'm sorry about my voice. It is not a good day to be doing a video. Have a great day, everybody.